Dior Sauvage. How do I feel about Dior Sauvage? I'm talking about the eau de toilette, the original Dior Sauvage. At one point in time, I was actually a big supporter of Dior Sauvage. I did a review on it, one of the first reviews on my channel, and that's what today's video is all about. I haven't owned Dior Sauvage, at least in its original form, in several years, but today I'm gonna go buy it. I'm downtown, I'm gonna go to Sephora and buy it. And I don't know anything about the current formulations. I do know that they have a new bottle size that I didn't know about till last night, a 30 milliliter size. I'm hoping I can pick that up because I don't need more than that. And then I'm gonna give it some wearing, maybe just an initial spray because I am well familiar with the fragrance. I'll just see if it's changed to my memory. And then we're going to react to my original video, which is going to be fun because I have not seen it in a long time. And I will compare how I think about it today with how I thought about it back then. And then we'll open it up for discussion. I want to know what you guys think of the fragrance and all that. So let's go buy it. Maybe I'll get some footage. Maybe I won't. I'll see you in a sec. This is nice. Herbaceous, little juicy, bright, sharp. I like it. Could be pretty light, but it's coming off just fine. The rain stops. This is nice. It's kind of musky, soft, a little bit airy, maybe a little watery, fresh, clean, natural. Maybe not all that special, but nice and not completely generic. Assuming they have a lot of problem with theft here. There's no bottles out really, only a few here and there. I'm currently smelling. This is what's out for the Dylan Blue. It's funny. I like it a little bit more than I remember. Surprising. We got the fragrance. Just gonna walk around a little bit more in the mall, see what else we find. All right, we're back with another addition to this little series of revisiting the glory of older fragrances and the glory of my older reviews. Now I'm using the word glory very loosely, especially in regards to myself. The videos I made are what they are. They are a piece of my past. Especially if you go back several years, you will see in every aspect how far I've come. We have our little 30 milliliter bottle of Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. I can't remember if I mentioned, I've almost bought this fragrance again several times over the years, but I just haven't been moved to do it because I just figured, well, I may not actually wear it all that much because I got bored of it once. I might get bored of it again, but I figured I'll just do it for you guys. Let me do it for the channel. Let me get a good reference point. So I've been wanting to know what the latest formulations smell like. As I said, I'm pretty familiar with the fragrance. I don't feel like I need to give it a full wearing to tell you what I feel about it. So I'm going to save spraying this until the very end. We're going to watch the video. We might, skip through. Of course, we're not going to watch the whole thing top to bottom. I'll share my thoughts. I'll be responding along the way, and then we'll get to smelling this and I'll compare my thoughts and we'll go from there. So here's me. Try it. Prepare yourselves. Let me see if I can make this full screen. Yes. Wow. Okay, here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh exclusive. If you've clicked on this video, then I assume that the Dior Sauvage bug has bitten you. Maybe you don't know about it yet, and if not, then I'm happy you chose to come to me to hear about it. If you didn't already know, this particular fragrance from... Wow, guys, real quick. Doesn't even feel like me, but that's me. Music's way too loud. What is that outfit? Just get to the point, bro. Come on. All right, back to it. From Dior, was released in September of 2015. Highly anticipated and frankly let a lot of people down in the fragrance community. The fragrance community means those of us who we would deem ourselves as frag heads, collectors of sorts. But Dior knew what they were doing. They were not aiming this towards a niche of people. That's what frag heads are. It's kind of ironic when you think about it. Those who have really dedicated themselves to the artistry of perfumery are the ones that were not being catered to with this particular fragrance. This fragrance was intended for the masses, and it did its job. It's still doing its job. When I got my nose on this fragrance, it was at Macy's. I had heard so much. So I do want to say that I'm actually surprised to see my younger self kind of, speaking some keen truth. I remember when Dior Sauvage was released, and I remember by the time I got into the community, I was seeing Dior Sauvage everywhere, but actually not in the greatest light. People were upset. People were disappointed. Again, especially us frag heads, because this is not what we were expecting from Dior. Dior had been a trailblazing brand as far as perfume goes, and then they come out with this spicy shower gel kind of modern fougere fragrance that shocked us all. But they didn't do it for us. They did it for that moolah, which doesn't necessarily come from us. It comes from the general public who doesn't really care about fragrances. That's it. Let's get back to it. So much about it. I heard two conflicting things. That number one, it was terrible and there was no depth to it. On the other hand, I heard that it was just something that smelled really good and that was very simple, and that was going to be pleasant to just about anybody if they caught a whiff of it in the air. So I smelled it. My initial reaction was, okay, that's cool. This was at the beginning of what I would call my fragrance journey. I hadn't smelled a whole lot of colognes. I've had some experience with a few here and there that I might call signature scents over the years. So I can't say that I had a purely developed sense of smell to really know if I would appreciate this fragrance or not. But I know that I found it pleasant. At the very least, I didn't find it unpleasant. I'll just say that. So upon smelling it, I hadn't quite decided if I wanted it yet. I literally let maybe a month or two go by, watching various reviews from other reviewers online talk about the fragrance, give their perspectives, and I was beginning to see this gradual shift towards people saying, yeah, when I first smelled it, I didn't really like it, but now that I have it and I've been wearing it, I really like it. Because number one, it gets me compliments, and number two, it performs really well. Aren't those the two things we're looking for in a fragrance? Ooh, old Justin, meet new Justin. The two things we're looking for in a fragrance, guys: getting compliments, having it last a long time. So, as you guys know, these days, when I speak about my fragrance philosophy, I'm I wouldn't say against those things, but against those things as being the most important factors of what makes a good fragrance. Now, I know there are people who still think that way, and obviously, as you can see, I thought that way, especially with this fragrance. I have evolved. I wouldn't say I tried to evolve, it's just what naturally happened. So, this is as much a treat for me as I hope it is for you to see the contradiction on the screen here between me and this guy. We're like two different people, but the same person, just along one continuum. Moving on. Without further ado, I bring you Dior Sauvage. Oh no, we're not doing this. This is copyrighted music. Why would I use that? Let's fast forward through the presentation because I'm going to show you guys my current bottle anyway. Yep, cool stuff. Great. What is going on? What is that? Oh my gosh. No, we'll save that for another day. That's an image of my very, very first fragrance video on YouTube, which, good Lord, we'll come to that later. Okay, let's skip here. Let's see what we're dealing with. It says performance. This was divided by YouTube, these chapters, not me, because I haven't touched this video since I launched it. Things I love about this fragrance. One of them, the most, being the performance. You can literally put one spray, just one. Oh, yes. And again, it's a good miss. Once the beginnings of my editing, I was trying to be funny. Again, we've come a long way. Spray on my neck, just one, and I will smell it around me for at least 8 hours. I will be smelling it. In fact, I sprayed it this morning. This was my scent of the day. I sprayed it. I can still smell it. I mean, right now, what time is it? It's 5 o'clock right now. I sprayed it. Bro, what are you doing? At 9 a.m. It's 5 p.m. now. It's a solid 8-9 hours, whatever that is. I don't want to do the math right now. The projection, the sillage, and the longevity are all top marks. But so loud with this fragrance. And not only that, but again, it's a pleasant scent. It's not the most groundbreaking piece of artistry, but I still do believe that this is going to be considered somewhat of a masterpiece. Just give it a little bit of time. So in that regard, I can't say that's wrong. Masterpiece is thrown around so much, very flippantly, to be honest. I've become very careful with how I throw that word around these days. It's taken some years to refine how I view a masterpiece. However, Dior Sauvage has become a pillar of the cologne game, not only within just the general industry and public, but here in the community. There's been a massive shift of how people see this fragrance. Now, I would say that the people who have not liked it, that has only grown in severity. People really don't like it now. But there's people who love it just as equally now, and maybe more than not. Honestly, just the fact that you still see Dior Sauvage in thumbnails across YouTube, on all the big channels, you still see it being mentioned, being battled on the street and having girls smelling and saying which one is sexy and rated and all that stuff. That doesn't mean masterpiece. We can use another word to describe what that is, but the fact that it's still here, it is a robust presence. So yes, it didn't have that presence right away when it came out, but it did not take long, and now it's not going anywhere. Dior is milking the Sauvage cow to the last drop. Although they have done the Dior Homme line, they've kind of revamped that, take that in a new direction and whatnot. That Sauvage cow is still providing them all the revenue they could ever hope for from their fragrance side. So it's only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. One of the best selling men's fragrances in the world right now, and it will go down in history as one of the best selling of all time. There's no stopping it. It's a fast moving train. You can quote me on that. This trend happens time and time again with other fragrances. It happened with Bleu de Chanel. When Chanel released that, people didn't like it at first, and then people kind of went crazy about it. And if you're looking to have people around you enjoy how you smell, no matter what, the scent that you are putting into the air, nobody can dislike this scent, as long as you don't go too much on it. Again, I think one spray will do it, even in the cooler weather. That is funny. Typically these days, I am what I would consider to be kind of a, I'll just go full screen here, kind of a conservative sprayer in relation to others. I've definitely become less conservative as the years have gone by, but still fairly conservative. But to spray one spray of something like Dior Sauvage, I would do more. I mean, even the elixir, I go at least 2 or 3. So, and that's a very strong fragrance for me. So it's just funny to see one spray. I'm weird now. Honestly, one spray of a fragrance does not count as a full wearing to me. It just doesn't. Even if I have like the strongest fragrance ever, I at the very least need to do one more spray under my shirt so I can feel like 2 minimum is a full wearing. I'm weird like that. That's just me. Let's see what else. We're not going to do this whole thing. I'm really just curious about my thoughts on this fragrance more than I am about how I described the way it smells and whatnot. In winter, I might go at 1.5 to 2. You can literally do a half spray with this thing. You just barely press it. Half spray. Here we go again. Little mist. You're going to please everybody. Now, if you're wondering how Dior Sauvage smells, I assume obviously you had. That's so funny. I had a feeling I was going to do the scent after the performance, which is kind of strange. At least it's atypical. We're going to skip that. I talk about the notes. Great. So let's get to the very end here. What in the world? Okay, let me see. Do I have any like final thoughts? I'm curious. They were not just mindfully trying to make money. They're making money, trust me. But pick this fragrance up now before it becomes too expensive and too rare to find. Trust me, even if you want a sample of it, wear it, see what people around you think about it. Hopefully that will influence your decision. Okay. Honestly, I think we've seen enough. We're gonna stop sharing. That is so hilarious. That is hilarious. 2 different Justins, guys. That's the old me. Again, we all have to start somewhere. I would say it is kind of an amateur mentality to treat and approach fragrances in this way, where it's all about, does it make me smell good to others, so much so that they'll make me feel good about how I smell? Looking for that validation. Does it last all day long? Can I smell it throughout the entire day? These things are fine, but when they are the defining factors of a fragrance, when they are the top priorities, I just think that is an amateur philosophy, an amateur approach because fragrance is more than that. It is created to do more than just make other people like you. And it can do so much more if you let it. It does take a little bit of a deeper dive. And if you want to know more about that, just watch all my other videos on my channel, especially recent videos, and you'll see. Nonetheless, we're going to crack this open. All right. The 30 milliliter size. Here it is, guys. This is a cute little bottle. Waste no more time. Put it on the right hand. And let's see. Probably still has the same great atomizer. Yes, sure does. Okay. Wow. I have to say, I am liking what I'm smelling simply because it's bringing back memories. This brings back memories of the beginning of my YouTube fragrance journey. When I was wearing this fragrance all the time, I was featuring it in a lot of videos. I was singing its praises. It smells just like it did before. Again, I know it very well. I probably wore it at least 20, 30 times, 20, 30 different occasions for the time that I had my Eau de Toilette bottle. I got the Eau de Parfum, wore that a bit, got rid of that. Anyway, lots of experience with this. Now, all in all, it's basic to me. It smells like shower gel. It smells like a sexy shower gel. That black pepper spice mixing with the lavender, that juicy bergamot that is almost fruity in a way, adding a bit of sweetness, sharp metallic ambroxan. It's nice. It is pleasant. I would be lying to you if I said
this smells terrible.
But again, I'm kind of past the point of wearing a fragrance simply to hope that other people like the way I smell and maybe even give me a compliment. I might wear this for myself simply for nostalgic purposes. I like the scent. It's fine, but that's about it. It's just fine. I think it's played out because of how much it's talked about these days. It is heralded as this compliment, sexy panty dropper king. And I think that is mostly what has ruined the fragrance for me. Not so much the scent. It's not hurting anybody, but it's just what it has become with the people. That's what's ruined it. That's it. I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop. I want to know what you guys think of Dior Sauvage these days. Do you still wear it? Which iteration do you prefer to wear? If you don't wear it, what is it about it that doesn't move you or that maybe you even dislike? But especially if you do love it, I want to know what you love about it. I'm really curious. Is the scent your number one drawing factor for you to wear this fragrance? If you got no compliments on it, would you wear it? I'm simply curious. Let's talk about it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this video. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.